So right now, I had an interview with another security specialist, Barrister Tony Ofoyetan. He is also a lawyer by profession and a security specialist. Let's quickly take a listen to this and hear his own submission.
Sadly, I think we have not actually learned much in our crusade against terrorism and insurgents in this country. And when I'm talking in this context, I'm talking especially to states that for now are not the battlefield of terrorism in this country. Maiduguri is fastly coming out of it. Yobe, the attack is to the barest minimum as it is. Adamawa is almost near zero. The battlefield has shifted to northwest. You now have Sokoto, you now have Katsina, you now have Kaduna, all now being on the forefront of this whole thing you call battle against insurgents and then torrential attack. But the actual battlefield has shifted to the southeast as it is now. For some of us, unrepentantly, I believe that it is just a change of nomenclature. The central command is the same in terms of Boko Haram, headers or headers attack of whatever name you choose to call them, or you call them bandits. You know, some of us believe that they are all the same. Their signatures are the same. Their methodology are the same. And if you look at also the fact that you look at their movement or signature, you would also see that it's more or less like the same as it is. So now, knowing full well that, okay, religious centers, especially churches, are major targets. I don't want anybody to come and tell me that, yes, they have attacked mosques and all those stuff like that. I agree, no doubt about that. But the fact remains that when you talk in terms of volume of attack, you talk in terms of casualty, the churches seems to be on the higher, attack seems to be on the higher side when it comes to churches and all those stuff like that. That means that those that are perpetrators of these heinous crimes are, you know, anti-Christians, apart from the fact that they are criminals. Now, if you look at, you ask yourself a simple question: why will you go to church on a Sunday to go and attack Christians who are worshiping? You know, what is the problem you have with them? It's just sheer religious hatred and religious intolerance. You know, purely religious hatred and religious intolerance.
What then do you consider as the solutions to ending these continuous attacks in our nation?
They should be able to push a bill at the National Assembly, you know, consensuously, with a unified force, that state sponsored security organizations should bear arms. The Ebubiagu, the Amotekun, and the like. I'm not actually even talking of individuals now. I'm talking of state security agencies or corps should be allowed to bear arms. They bear arms in order, for goodness sake. Even in the US here, where we are practicing their democracy, we have state policing and the like, and they all bear arms. Wow, what is our fear with state police? The fear we are having with state police, the federal government, federal police is already melting it on us. You are talking of illegal arrest. You are talking of torture. You are talking of unjustified prosecution and all those stuff like that. You have them heaped on the federal policing system. So what is our fear? What is our problem? But if the state government in the south here will unanimously push a bill to say that all our state security agencies, Amoteku, Ebubuagu, should be armed, just like the police is armed for the purpose of our own security and defense. You see, the first thing that will shock you is that those that are protagonists of terrorism will come all out with their strength, with their might, with their connection, with everything to oppose it.
What are the lessons in this kind of attack? Because they continue to recall, and it appears the government of the day is not learning anything from this.
Political will is not there the way it ought to be. It's not there. And you see, one thing that this government had done, which is a big disservice to this country, is the opening of the border uncontrollably to the foreign Fulanis to come into this country through Niger. They tell them non-visa. There was a time they threw it open, visa on entry point to all of them, and they were coming in and out of the country. Today in Lagos State, look at it. Lagos State has about 22 million people in Lagos. And out of that 22 million people, you have 3 million, about 3 million Okada riders, fruit sellers and the like, that are non-indigenous. No house, no place to stay, other than one big man that bought bike for them. And they are constituting big menace.
Is it not also the problem of the government that is not creating jobs, that is not securing the nation as it ought to be? What the Ministry of Defense doing? They keep telling us the borders are porous.
Listen,
people there.
Don't bring the ministry into this thing. Okay. Don't forget one thing. If you talk about Ministry of Defense, yes, you are talking about the Navy, the Air Force, and actually the the Army. Predominantly. And it is for the territorial integrity of this nation. So when it comes to that area, for now we don't have any war. We are fighting against ourselves.
What about the border?
It is the work of the immigration. Cool down, bros.
The Minister of Information himself came back and said that it has external forces. How is this external forces getting into the country?
You should be able to ask the former DG, Babandede. Babandede identified that we had more than 2,000 illegal routes into Nigeria. He was DG in the Nigerian Immigration Service for almost 6 or 7 years. He never did anything. All true. And the border, it was during his time, we are talking about visa entry, flock of every form of human being to the country. And he was able to personally identify that he had more than 2,000 illegal entries or routes into Nigeria. What was the step he took? So the issue is not the minister or the Minister of Defense. Understand that there is division of labor in this country. I agree with you that there is porosity. Whose primary responsibility is it? Immigration, customs, and the like. Especially immigration. That's their responsibility. But you are talking of a country where a Nigerian, a Chadian has your national ID card. They can vote. They have your voter's card. That's the type of country. You are talking of immigration. Why don't you talk of Issa Pantami, the Minister of Technology and whatever? Why will the kidnapper successfully kidnap you as a ransom through telephone, and you are asked to register that phone, and that phone cannot trace the kidnapper, and they have it in the forest and in the bush, and if you trace them before anything, somebody is calling to tell you that the number has been traced. What is Issa Pantami doing in that office? Why is he there? There are a lot of problems in this country that we are not solving. It means that it's a chain. It falls 100% on the political class. More especially, number one, Mr. President. If Mr. President decide today that I don't want to hear terror, not to talk of zim or reason in this country, it will not take 3 months, 90 days for the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and even the police to wipe out terrorism out of this country. Those that are perpetrators and sponsors of terrorism, DSS can easily identify them. You remember they said they have the list of more than 400 names of people that are sponsoring terrorism in this country. The Minister of Communication said it, and he said he's going to publish the names.